Hello everyone, my name is Miss Delight. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I post sewing tutorials. In today's tutorial, I will show you how I drafted this fitted cowl neck bodice, how I transferred and manipulated my darts, and how I achieved the cowl neckline. Cowl neck dresses look beautiful, but many, like this satin dress you see on the screen, are dartless. They drape nicely, but the bust and the waist don't often hug the body. For this, I wanted a fitted look that hugs the bust and the waist, so I kept the darts but manipulated it so it's hidden, which will give me a soft, clean front. The inspiration is that you see on your right, while my recreation is that on the left. Fabric choice matters. Loose stretch needs that. Since my fabric isn't very stretchy, this method of that manipulation ensures that the dress fits perfectly. But if you're using a fabric that is stretchy, it's going to hug your body. That's with or without the darts. So with that, let's get started. So at this point, I went ahead to draw out my lines. The first line you see is my shoulder line. The next is my bust line. Then I have my under bust and I have my half length. You can also add your allowance line. I didn't add it here, but if you add your allowance line. So now I'm dividing my shoulder measurement by 2 and I'll make a point at my shoulder line. After doing that, I'm going to add 1 inch to the division of my shoulder measurement. That's how I get my chest line. After doing that, I'm going to use my pattern master and my pencil to create a straight line. So this whole new line you're seeing right now is my chest line. I'm going to now write CH, that's abbreviation for chest line. I made a mistake here, sorry. I forgot to add that 1 inch to the division of my shoulder measurement. So do add 1 inch to the division of your shoulder measurement to get your chest line. After doing that, I'm going to use my marker to write CH, that's for chest line. On this my set chest line, I'm going to divide my shoulder measurement again by 2 and I'll make a mark at that point. Then I'll connect this new point on my chest line and my shoulder measurement on my shoulder line. Now, what we're drawing right now is going to be our armhole line. Now, on my shoulder line, I'm going to go down by 1 inch. This is to create my shoulder slope. Now, from this 1 inch, I want to go and divide the midpoint. That's from this 1 inch to my chest line. I want to get the midpoint, make a mark at that point, go in by half of an inch, then I will create the curve. From that half inch all the way to my chest line. Next is our neckline. I'm going to work with 3 by 3. Then I'll use my pattern master to curve the neckline. After that, we're going to make our shoulder slope. We're going to just draw our shoulder slope. Next is our dart. We're going to divide our nipple to nipple measurement by 2. So I'm working with 3.5. From my half length line, I'm going to mark 3.5 all the way to my bust line. We're not going to mark that 3.5 on our chest line. We're going to end it at our bust line. Then you go back to your shoulder slope, get the midpoint of your shoulder slope, and make a mark at the midpoint. After doing that, you're going to take up your pattern master, use the ruler and connect from your shoulder slope, that's from the midpoint of your shoulder slope, all the way to nipple, division of your nipple to nipple measurements on your bust line. Then nipple to nipple measurement on your bust line, draw it all the way down to your half length. After doing that, next thing is how to create my dart legs. So I'm marking 0.7 at both sides. So I have 0.7 here and 0.7 at the other side. After doing that, I'm going to use my pattern master to create a slanted line from my bust, from my bust line all the way to that 0.7. So you should have something that looks like mine. Next is to add our body measurements. Your bust divided by 4, your underbust divided by 4, and your half length divided by 4. After you make marks at that, you're going to now replace the darts at your underbust and that at your half length. Then you go ahead to add extra 2-inch allowance to it. Next is our side dart. So you're going to get the difference between your half length of the front and half length of your back. That's how you know what to take away at this side dart. So the difference from the half length of my front and the half length of my back is 1.5. So I took away 1.5 from my bust line at the sides and I drew a slanted line all the way to this point. So yours should look like mine. Just get the difference between your half length of the front and half length of your back. Then you know how many you have to take out from your side. The reason for this is that the back doesn't have a bust, so the half length of the back is normally shorter than that of the front. After doing that, I'm going to cut round this. Though when I reach the side where has my side dart, I'm going to give it a little bit of space. I'm not going to cut exactly at the line so that when I close off my side dart, I wouldn't have anything shorten. Next is to work on those darts. So I'm going to open one of these dart legs here so I can be able to close off my side dart. Now flip it over to the side. I'll cut through the down part of the dart. Don't cut all the way, don't cut it through, just leave a little bit of gap at that point so that you can be able to close it without the piece falling apart. So just leave like half inch together so you can be able to close it just like the way you see me closing mine. Then use your sellotape to sellotape this part together so it wouldn't move any more. After doing that, I'm going to use my scissors to cut it through. If you notice, the my body measurements are no longer the same, so I'm going to slant in such a way that I won't have anything that will short at that side. So see where I'm cutting mine. Now, the next thing I want to do now is to open up this dart fully so I can manipulate it and transfer it to another point where I can close it up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a piece of paper and I'm going to put it this way. I'm going to put it underneath this body block. After doing that, I'm going to use my sellotape so that I can hold this down. After doing that, next is I want to push this dart to our side. So look at this point where I'm going to push this dart. I'm going to push it towards my armhole. So from this end of the dart leg, I'm creating a slanted line this way. Next, from the right dart end, I'm going to create a slanted line to meet that armhole. So just like how we did our dart at our nipple to nipple measurement side. So it's just like the same thing. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to cut through one side so we can close it up exactly the same way we closed up our side dart. So I'm going to Don't forget, we're not going to cut through it. We're going to leave like a half inch so that we can be able to close it without this piece falling apart. So after doing this way, we're going to use our tape again to hold this together. After doing that, you notice that a part of our full length isn't like we need to replace it. So I got another piece of paper and I placed it this way. Next thing we're going to do again is use our tape to hold up this new piece of paper we added together. After doing that, we're going to use our scissors to cut it in a straight line. That's why we're going to replace our full length. That's why we're going to make sure our half length is exactly what our half length is. Because right now it's shortened. So use your tape to hold it down. And I'm going to use my scissors to just cut it through using a straight line. That is, I'm trying to get my half length back. And this is all. We have successfully drafted and manipulated. That's for the front. The next thing is I want to make sure our measurements are there plus our extra allowance. So I divided my bust by 2. I'll make a mark at the point and I'll check if I still have my extra 2-inch allowance, which I do at my bust. After doing that, I will go over to my underbust to check my underbust. I'm going to divide my underbust by 2, make a mark at that point, and I'll add that extra 2-inch allowance. So at this my underbust, I had excesses. Going over to my half length, I'm going to divide my waist measurement by 4, sorry, and also add that extra 2-inch allowance. And I also had excesses. So I have excesses at my underbust and at my waistline. So I'm going to use my pattern master now to make to carve out my body measurements. That's plus that extra 2-inch allowance. Then I'm going to use my scissors to cut out the excesses. Next is my back. Went ahead to create the block. So I have my shoulder measurement, I have my chest line, and I have my half length line. Remember, half length of the front is different from half length of the back. For this back measurement, make sure you're using your half length of the back. So for the neckline of this, I use 3 by 1.5. Here I have my extra 2-inch zipper allowance. So if you notice, we don't have bust line here and we don't have under bust line here at this back bodies. So at this point, I decided to add that extra allowance which I didn't add at the front. If you went sewing, I remember to add it. But please, when drafting your pattern, don't forget to add your extra allowance to the length of at your front. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple measurements on this. That's after drawing this allowance line I want to draw right now. So nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, mark it off my half length, allowance all the way to my chest line. This is the difference. For the front, we stopped at our bust line, and for the back, we are carrying it over to our chest line. Then I'm getting the midpoint of my shoulder slope. Next, I'll use my ruler from the midpoint of my shoulder slope all the way to the nipple to nipple measurement on my chest line, and from the nipple to nipple measurement on my chest line all the way down to my half length full length line. Now that's done. Next thing I want to do is to create the dart legs. I'm going to go in by the same 0.7 at both sides of the dart leg. Then I'll create a slanted line from my chest line all the way to that 0.7 I marked at both sides. After doing that, next I want to do right now is my body measurements. So I'm going to divide my bust by 4. Then I will divide my half length by 4. But before that, I want to take away our any zipper bulge. So I'm taking 0.7 again At my half length line, see the way I want to create a slant, and I'll create a slant downward too. So what I just did now is one way to eliminate zipper bulging. So after doing this right now, I'm going to now go over to adding body measurement. My bust to divided by 4 plus extra 2-inch allowance. My waist, that's at my half length, and I have my waist measurement divided by 4 plus extra 2-inch allowance. And don't forget, you have to replace the darts. Next is use our scissors to cut through this. We're going to cut around this. So next is I want to transfer this that. So I'm going to get a piece of paper now. I'm going to put it underneath this. I'm going to use my tape to hold this down. After holding it down, I'm going to transfer it to the side. That's the same way I transferred the front. That of the front, I'm going to transfer this. So let me just use my tape to hold this down first. Now that that's done, I'm going to use my pattern master, that's the ruler part of it, to transfer this. So look at it, I'm going towards my armhole, and I'm going to create a slanted line this way from one end of the dart leg to that point. And now I'm doing the same from that point to that end of the dart leg. After doing that, I'm going to slash it open and I'm going to close it up. That's the same way we close up our side darts of the front. That's the same, it's just the same closing up process. Make sure when cutting through this, you don't cut all the way to the end. Make sure you leave like half-inch gap. This is so that your pattern wouldn't split apart. Now I'm going to close this up and use my sellotape to tape this together. After taping this down, remember, if you notice, we have something shortened at the length of this. So we're going to replace the length of this body while drafting. So at this point now, I want to now create the neckline of the back. So using my tape, oh, the only thing I didn't do here, sorry, is to cut out the neckline. I didn't cut out the neckline. So from this point right now, you're going to determine how deep you want your neckline to be. So I'm going to use 11.5 for mine because I want the back neckline to be very, 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 very deep. So it depends on the kind of neckline you want. I'm going to use my pencil to just draw the straight line so I can know where that 11.5 stops. Next, it's a V neckline at the back. I want a V neckline at the back. So I'm going to create the V neckline right now from the end of my neckline. That's from that 3-inch. See where my chalk is here, my pencil, sorry. I'm going to create the V. So at this point, I was trying to see if I want the neckline to be kind of slanted, but it didn't work out. So I want a V neckline at the back. So I just created the V, which is what you see now. So after doing that, I'm now going to cut through that new neckline of my back. So at a point, I felt like my neckline is too little. So I went in by 1 inch. That's at my neckline. I went in by 1 inch. I did the same for the back, and I also did the same for the front. So see what I just did now. Using my tape, I went in by 1 inch. So I'm using this as my new neckline. I did this for the back, and I also did the same thing at the front because we want our shoulder to be equal. Next, to cut out this neckline of ours, and that's our back pattern. That's how it's looking like. For the front, time to create our cowl neckline. Now for this, not on the normal, we slash through our chest line. But for this one, I don't want to slash through my chest line. What I'm doing right now is to take away, I'm taking in that 1 inch I took at the neckline of my back. So I'm doing, remember I said whatever you do to the back at the neckline, please do the same to the front. So I am taking in that 1 inch now. I'm covering into the neckline. So this is going to serve as my new neckline. Use my scissors right now to slash through this to create the new neckline of my front. So now our cowl neckline. Now, if you look at the inspiration, our cowl neckline didn't is like it's high, isn't low, it's high. So what I'll do now is that from my neckline, I went down by 2 inch. Now, this 2 inch I want to start, which is why I want to slash to create my cowl neckline. So I'm going to use my ruler right now to create a straight line. Now, at that line I made, and that's where I'm going to slash through. This is so my cowl neckline wouldn't be down. I want it to be like a little bit high. Now, if you want, you can slash, you can make another line above this. You can have like two slashes. It just depends on how full you want your cowl neckline to be. So now I've brought out my fabric. I've pinned it down on my fabric. So what I want to do next, I want to now show you how many inch I use to open up my cowl neckline. My fabric is placed on fold. So for this, I want to use 4 inch because I don't want the cow effect to be too much. I just want a kind of soft look. So I'm working with 4 inch. So when I determine that, okay, I have 4 inch, the opening is 4 inch, I'm going to use my pin to hold this down on my dress. The cow effect wouldn't be more than 4 inch or less than 4 inch because I want it to be 4 inch. Next, we're going to get our chalk and pattern master because we want to create like a straight line from our shoulder. So see the way I'm creating a straight line and create yours like mine. The reason for this is that you don't wouldn't want your cowl neckline to kind of bend inward. So we want it to be like straight up. So that's why I drew that straight line at the up part. So what I'll do now is that we're done with this. So just to cut round this. So picking up my scissors, we're going to cut round this. So at this point, I realized that I have not added my extra allowance to the length of this. So I added my extra allowance. Now this is our back body. There's nothing much about this. Just fold the fabric again onto unfold, pin it down, then you can cut round it. So here we have our drafted back bodies and it's cut on the dress, and we have that of the back and that of the front. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I hope I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.